Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Protein Bros Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Jeff Wasserman, and today we have an awesome episode for you. It's got Dan Smith and Mark Hufford. They recently purchased CrossFit on Track in Olathe, Kansas in the last year. They have over 20 years combined experience with CrossFit, and it's been fun to listen to their journey as far as becoming from being members to then becoming owners. And we talk a little bit about the CrossFit Games that are coming up very shortly, as well as just how do you manage culture, how do you grow your culture, and how do you grow a business in which people are usually afraid to come into. Lots of fun topics in this one. Please tune in. And as always, guys, if you are listening, please share up the podcast and let us know what you thought about the episode in the comments. Thanks again for listening. Let's get to the episode. So right off the bat, I'm a fiance and I am about to be a stepdad in like a few months. Together, you guys have 9 kids. You're basically the Kardashians. Yeah. What's this like?
We didn't have them together, but add them together.
Yeah. He's like, I'll point that out.
I mean, like, dude, hanging out at the gym, do they all come up at the same time ever? Is it like a Kid Strong class? Whatever, isn't it? Isn't that
we
a
do
new...
have a kids class, yeah we do. Kids. We've had a number of them there at the same time, but yeah. I don't know if we've had them all in the same room. I don't know what that would do.
Have you guys had them duke it out in athletic events? Whose kids are...
Feats of strength.
No,
is there a Hunger Games?
Yeah, we've got stair-stepped age kids. So Mark's oldest is an adult, and my youngest is 16 months.
Oh, my gosh.
We have no overlap.
So my oldest is 22. I'm feeling old
saying that. Is it awesome having a 22-year-old?
I mean, he's going to get married in a couple months.
How exciting, man.
Can't believe
Congrats,
it.
man.
Thank you.
Huge congrats, man.
Yeah, it's awesome. And he's an awesome young man.
Are you a fan of the woman?
So proud of him. Yeah, she's great.
That's
He's like, no, she's terrible.
Hey, man.
Put it out there.
We unfortunately hear these stories too.
She's amazing.
Yeah. Absolutely, man.
I don't know about you guys, but like, I bring my kids to the gym and I have some workout equipment at home. But my youngest, every time I'm working out, they can start out playing with something, but they always end up being right beside me and just basically staring at me while I'm working out. Has that happened to you guys?
It does, and I have a whiteboard with dry erase markers in the garage for that exact reason.
Play with this.
Honestly, my wife works out in the garage way more than I do. She's super dedicated with that, but and they won't leave her alone. There's only like a 40-minute window each day when the youngest is napping and the oldest is at school, and the middle one is where you can keep a handle on her that she can work out.
It's truly like a scheduling, issue when it comes to trying to work out with that many kids. It's crazy.
It is.
Something go ahead, sorry.
No, I was going to say coming back from kids and trying to work out is an effort. You got to fit it in somehow.
I mean, we did. Dan and I actually got to be good friends. I think because I had so many kids. The only time I had to myself to work out was like 4 a.m. Because at that time I was coaching some of the classes. This is before we owned the gym, and so we would get there at 4:30 in the morning. This is like 3 years in a row. Every day, 4:30 a.m. It's the only time I had where I was awake and my kids were happy and safe and quietly sleeping, and so we worked out together for 3 years at 4 in the morning. So that was
just the 2 of you.
Well, there was a couple other guys.
Was there a real 4 a.m. class, or was this like an off the books?
There was no class. It
was before class. There was a very transient population that would come and go. No one ever stuck with it. There was 3 of us.
Yeah.
That would consistent for years working at that time. But there'd be people that would come and go, I think I'm going to work out at 4:30 with you guys. We're like, okay.
You guys both worked out at On Track for nearly a decade before you went into ownership. Is that right?
Right. Yeah, just about. I think the funny thing is my wife and I started there because she bought me a Groupon for CrossFit, and I was like, "What's CrossFit?"
That's amazing.
Is it like flipping tires? I have no idea what that is. But that turned into total addiction. Like I was hooked.
Were you doing fitness prior to that in any way?
In hindsight, I would say no. At the time, if you would have asked me, I would have said yes. But it was nothing like we're doing.
Some curls in the garage.
Yeah, I mean,
what did it look like for you then?
It was primarily running. I would run and run and run. I did high school, football, baseball, track. So just involved in athletics growing up. But you grow up, you start having kids, and some of that stuff goes away for a lot of people. So I was like, well, I'll run. That's how I'll get back in shape. Like I got really big. I was up to 230, which if you're 5'9" and 230 and you don't have an NFL contract, which was me, I didn't have those measurements right. But so I ran and I watched my diet and I lost a bunch of weight, but I looked like a runner. And, I started doing CrossFit, which is constantly varied. We're lifting weights, we're running, we're doing body weight stuff, we're lifting heavy, and everything in between, every combination you can think of. And obviously that's going to make you better at every combination slowly. I'm not going to be the strongest guy in the room or the fastest guy in the room, but if you throw a little bit of everything at a CrossFitter, they'll generally do better than most across the board. And so, that happened for me, so I got hooked, and that Groupon turned into a love for fitness, love for CrossFit. And there's nothing proprietary about CrossFit. You guys know that. But that was 11 years ago. So
that's amazing, man.
Dan, how about you, Dan? How'd you get into it?
What was your entry into the ecosystem, if you will?
Yeah, I was an athlete growing up, middle school, high school, always playing sports. So I was always in the gym, and I even was doing some Olympic lifting throughout those times. But when I went to college, it was the rec center or running. That was it. So I was doing that stuff, and it was mostly your classic 6 to 12 week shortcut to whatever body you want kind of programs where you do it and kind of stick with it and try to watch what you eat however you can, which you can't that well. It's so hard. That's the hardest part about it, is the diet. But I would just make it work and do the bodybuilding type stuff and then run when I wasn't wanting to do that. And then 2016, 2016, I think I saw one of the CrossFit documentaries. So for like 3-4 years, about the 2014, 15, 16, 17, so forth, they were making a documentary every year. And I think I caught one on like ESPN or one of the streaming services and was like, I don't know what that is, but I know some of those movements and that looks really cool. So I just did what most people do. I Googled CrossFit near me and found a couple gyms, tried them out, landed it On Track, and fell in love with it. The movements themselves, just being able to be competitive with myself as well as be in that group environment. I'm a people person. I have preferences towards extroversion, so I'm just going to be energized by being around people. I feel more energized after I leave the gym than I did walking in, which is biologically what you'd think the opposite would be.
Yeah.
But I'm that way. I just get energized by being around people. So that's what's been the difference maker for me of why I've kept doing it. Just if I work out alone, I'll do it to work out, but otherwise it's meh.
Yeah.
I need to be in the group. I need my friends, my buddies.
Do you find yourself more competitive in that group environment as well, as far as like how hard you're working out?
I was for like 5-6 years. And then I say this to everyone, I turned the corner of like why I'm doing what I'm doing and stopped getting so competitive with other people, focused more on competing against technically myself, but really just thinking about why I'm training, doing things like really avoiding injury like you wouldn't imagine, trying to find the stimulus in the workout and do that properly, even if I'm winning or not in the group. But yeah, there's the lizard brain that always wants to do a little bit better.
Well, Dan, I'm glad you brought that up. I want to go a little further with you on that, because that's a huge deal for a lot of people. And I wanted to ask you the same thing, because you had a big transformation, Mark. You lost 60 pounds. Is that right?
Yeah, I did.
And for a lot of people, they're getting into working out because of that physical change, because trying to improve their own relationship with themselves, et cetera. And you're talking about you were competing with others, but you're also, I'm assuming, comparing yourself to others. Is that accurate, or is there anything you'd edit there?
In the sense of performance, times, weights, metrics, power output, all that stuff, that you can compare those very easily. It's simple math, but not so much the looks of things. That's one thing I also love about CrossFit is I like to say, I don't know if anyone said this before, I like to say it makes you your caveman self. Like every person, you look at the CrossFit Games, the people that are competing and on the podium, they look totally different across the board. Different body types, different shapes. They all have very good athletic performance. It doesn't matter what you look like, because your body's just going to shape its way to be the best performance, which I find pretty cool. So I wasn't really comparing any look and feel, but you'll look better if you do CrossFit.
Yeah,
that's a nice side effect.
Mm-hmm. It is a big difference between that and obviously traditional bodybuilding, and a lot of people's
right.
Even if you're someone who's just going to the gym 3-4 times a week, you're still usually following some kind of like bodybuilding protocol in some capacity. And so it's always been very cool for me to see the games athletes, because like you were saying, they're all shapes and sizes, different heights, different weights. But everybody is obviously in great shape. But like you're saying, your caveman self, is that speaking more to like just what we would all look like back in the day?
If you
Without
didn't care,
processed
if you
foods
didn't, if you didn't do an upper lower body split, bis and tris, chest and back, then work legs every 3 months, you wouldn't. That's
what Luke does.
Joke about that. I need one laugh about the no one does legs day, and then I'm good. But we do full body every day.
Right.
We have our upper body splits. If you look in the programming of CrossFit, you can find the periodization and the upper lower body splits and all that stuff. So we don't overdo particular muscle groups, but it's mostly full body. So you're just going to get shaped like your body needs to be shaped to perform the way you're asking it to. Mm-hmm. That's it. You can work on biceps if you want. Guys are going to do that no matter what. You can work on back if you have bad pulling muscles or whatever. But generally, if you just do CrossFit, you'll just become the shape that is most productive for your body to be productive in that program. So that's why everyone looks different.
And you are the first to say that, by the way.
I think it's interesting what you're talking about as far as like kind of getting over the hump, because most people, when they start training CrossFit, they're basically just trying to learn the movements essentially. And then you get that hit of basically like euphoria that you get from basically killing yourself every day in a workout. But then after you've done it for quite a while, then you kind of settle into being able to look more, I guess, analytically at like the workouts and the programming that you're doing. And at that point, if you're going to improve, you have to basically set parameters on yourself as far as like, okay, what am I trying to get out of this workout? When you went over that hill and you started looking at workouts like that, is that something where you say, okay, this workout, I know I'm not good, I'm not saying you specifically, but you could say, hey, I know I'm not great at chest to bars. I know I need to be able to string more chest to bars together. It would be easiest for me, there's 20 chest to bars per round in this. It would be easy for me to do 5, 5, 5, 5. But instead, I know I'm going to have a slower time, but I'm going to make sure that I'm doing 10 unbroken, 10 unbroken. Is that basically how you're doing that? Or basically tell me when you're looking at a workout and you're trying to improve yourself, what are the steps that you're taking to do that, I guess, is what I'm asking.
Yeah, that the first thing you mentioned is, I think I do probably two things. One is that I look at the workout and break it down in my head the way I think I should in order to improve the things I know I should. Mm-hmm. If it's longer sets, if it's a particular weakness of muscles, I know for a fact I'm very weak overhead. Just anything overhead, I'm weak. I can pull all day. Pushing overhead is rough. So if there's a workout like that, I will adjust the weight. I may not do it RX or as prescribed. I'll maybe do it slightly lower weight in order to get the reps higher, because that's going to build that muscular endurance better than me taking a bunch of breaks and pitying myself in between the rounds of like, I almost did it RX. That's thing one. Thing two is feeling how my body feels every single day as one day, as a picture of one day. Because you said breaking your body down, basically killing your body every day. It can be really hard. There's a general amount of overtraining that happens if you just do CrossFit 7 days a week. You need rest. And that's why I tell when I coach people, I tell them today is different than yesterday is different than tomorrow. Yeah. What you ate yesterday, what you ate this morning, how much water you drank yesterday, how you slept, all that stuff.
How well your kids slept.
Yeah, exactly. If your kids slept,
right.
That plays.
So you're basically you're overlaying the RPE mentality onto like CrossFit workouts, essentially. Like, what is my rate of perceived exertion in this workout? When I think about it in context versus like what my day's been like so far and what yesterday was like.
Exactly.
Which, I mean, for me, I think that as I've gotten older with doing CrossFit, it's knowing when to turn intensity down too, because most of the time with CrossFit, you want to go in there and you want to go balls to the wall every day. And if you do that, you run into what you were saying earlier, which is injuries.
The wall.
Did you just get over an injury too?
I wish I was over the injury. So I tore my ACL and meniscus in May, just before Memorial Day last year. So I had surgery in June. It's like a 9 to 12 month recovery, and I'm at 8 months and 2 days.
How did you do
Who's
it?
Counting?
Yeah. This 8 months and 2 days.
Was this during? Yeah, was this during a workout or was this?
It was. I landed kind of funny. So I'm 46. So I'm more susceptible to weird injuries, I think. But I landed funny coming over a box jump over. I knew immediately before I even hit the floor. I knew like something's torn. This is bad. Now that said, I really don't blame my injury on that box jump. I had some serious overuse the week prior to that. I went on a golf trip with my brothers. We did 6 rounds of golf in 5 days, which is 5 rounds more than I do usually in a year. Mm-hmm. Right. So, great time. I love my brothers, and I love going out there and having that. We do like an annual trip. It's a ton of fun. But every time you swing that club, you're twisting on that left.
Oh
knee.
yeah.
Twist. And so 6 rounds, how many, and I'm a horrible golfer. So it was, thousands of twists on that knee. And then the day after I get home, something as simple as I twisted kind of funny and it just went pop.
Man.
So yeah.
It is kind of weird at golf. I train every day, but you go golfing and then you're just weirdly sore all over.
Oh yeah,
you're like freaking sides all freaking sore from swinging so
here's
hard.
some interesting muscles that I apparently don't ever hit in the gym.
Yeah.
So
Let's look out for that in the next Open. How many golf swings it's
that's
coming.
right.
You wait, something weird's coming.
I mean,
sure.
that's what I mean. Dan, you mentioned this earlier as far as like, the overtraining.
Yeah.
How intentional have you had to be with preparation versus like the recovery side?
Preparation. What do you mean by preparation?
Preparation in the sense of, what kind of, I guess, routine do you have to do to ensure that you're not going to injure yourself? 'Cause
Warm
I feel
up?
like a lot of people, not just
Mobility?
Well, I'd say that honestly, I was thinking there's like basically 2 types of prep you're talking about. One is the warm up, which is important for me. I feel like I take like 58 minutes to warm up, which means I'm ready to go by the time the class is over. But that's like,
So do you get to the gym at 3:30 is the question.
I get to the gym early. I get to the gym early enough for me to warm up as much as I can. But that's one part of it too. I'm a morning workout guy. We were just talking about that. We're morning people, so the body's a little bit stiff right out of bed. So I have to warm up there. But the other side of it is understanding, first off, what the workout's going to be tomorrow. I need to know that, because the day before, the night before, I need to know what I'm going to prepare for so I can adjust it appropriately or not go, or go and sit on a bike and chat with people or whatever it is. Because that's part of the preparation for me, is realizing this will be a fun workout tomorrow and I'm not going to do it because I feel bad right now.
Yeah,
So,
it's that one day snapshot you were talking about, right?
Yep.
So with On Track, you guys, you have kind of a reputation as being a competitive gym in Kansas City. You guys have taken over as owners. When did you guys buy the gym?
We took over ownership the last week of September 2022. So not quite a year and a half. So.
Nice. Congratulations on that.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
The question I have is with you guys as new ownership coming in, I know that you guys have trained at the gym for a long time and have basically been around for the culture for a long period of time. Are you guys carrying on the competitive culture that is in that gym, and what are you guys doing to basically what if any have you guys as far as changes have you guys made to the gym since you guys have bought it?
Good question. So we drink the CrossFit Kool-Aid hard. Like we are all in. I have fully bought into the CrossFit methodologies in that nothing proprietary about CrossFit, but the way they approach fitness and the way they define fitness, I have personally experienced, and I've watched others kind of realize that this is the best version of myself, or I'm on my way to the best version of myself, because I'm doing a little bit of everything. I'm slowly getting better at everything by specializing in nothing, really. And so with that, drinking the CrossFit Kool-Aid, we believe it's for everybody. We don't necessarily believe that everybody wants to do it, but do believe that it will be effective for everyone. And I don't want to steal your line, but Dan at one point said, "I want to rid the world of fat people," which I don't think he meant the actual people, but the fat. That was
Not
on
the people, just the fat on them.
The fat on the people.
That's the second part of the line. You got to say the second part. Not the people, just the fat on them.
I'm like, unfortunately, there's going to be a lot of people in America.
Right. I think there are so many people that don't understand how simple it can be to just be fit, or to work towards being fit. That there are no shortcuts. There's no magic pill or drink that's going to make this easy. It takes, all of us know, we've been in fitness a long time. It takes dedication. It takes patience and persistence, and just show up show up and do the work. And when that's with a community, it makes it so much better. Like how many more workouts have you done because there were other people? How much better did you do in a workout because there were other people around you? Like so many of the workouts that we do, I would have quit, one round into the 5 rounds if I was there alone.
Oh, yeah.
But there's other people there. So we drink the CrossFit Kool-Aid. We believe it's for everybody, and we are trying to bring it to everybody. So we have CrossFit Kids. We believe that kids need to learn how to squat. Most of them know how to squat really well naturally. Like little toddlers can drop down and squat and hang out there for an hour and just play. But grandma and grandpa need to squat too. They need to press. They need to work on their cardiovascular endurance. They need to work on their balance and their power and agility, So we are trying to go for everyone in the market who is interested in getting more fit.
Is this something that wasn't prevalent prior to your guys' takeover and ownership?
No, definitely not at CrossFit on Track. We're not the first to do CrossFit Kids. That's done all over the place.
Oh, certainly not. I meant like just like the focus on it, the intent behind it, all that.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's new to our ownership, just targeting everybody, right? We want to cast a broad, wide net to catch as many people as we can to help them to improve their lives, to just realize the independence and longevity they can experience.
Physical freedom, if you will.
Yeah, physical freedom, absolutely. So are we still competitive? Yeah, absolutely. We have very impressive elite athletes of all ages. And we have a lot of moms and dads that just want to sweat and they like the community. And we have kids and we have people that really love the Olympic lifting side, or people that really love the power lifting side, or people that are really good at running or rowing or whatever it is, and we want all of them, everyone in between, because we want to help as many people as we can to become more fit. There's Pat,
Yeah, there's Pat.
She's 80-something years old, and she's incredible.
Let's go.
Yeah.
You know what, though?
She's got some badass dance moves.
What I've noticed is, those people that they'll come in and they basically are like, hey, listen, I'm not trying to be out of this world,
Yeah.
And then fast forward 2 years, they're like, did you see me? I deadlifted 225 for the first time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They get the bug just like everybody else.
Exactly.
And they also, as long as they, like what you hit on with community, as long as they get brought into the community, brought into the fold, and they become a part of the gym, where the gym becomes part of their identity, and they stick with it. They're, 2 or 3 years goes by and they look back, and it's crazy the amount of, progress somebody can see in that amount of time. And like you were saying, a lot of that just boils down to the training methodology being, something that basically works on strength, works on coordination, works on, cardiovascular health. And you don't really have a choice because the workout is the workout. So it's like,
That's something I really love about it too. And then I know that I'm sure because of the amount of years you guys have been in there, that CrossFit on Track exemplifies this as well. But CrossFit is a culture, to your guys' points, as far as, somebody being 80 plus years old or somebody being 12 years old, they can all do these movements for the most part. They can all scale these things to be appropriate for where they're at physically. And it doesn't matter how long you've been doing it. Everybody in the gym, if you could be the most impressive athlete in the gym and you're cheering on that person that's over 80, no different than as if they were trying to hit a PR.
100%. That's the community, right? I mean, that's the thing that I think is scariest for most people that are starting, and it's the thing that we, I think a lot of CrossFit gyms try and do a good job of this, that we try and teach people, like, nobody cares. Like, we just want you here. We don't care how strong you are. We don't care if you're the fastest, if you're first place, last place. Just want you here.
Give us your best.
We just want to work out.
Yeah.
Whatever your best is what we want.
Yeah, man.
What's you guys' since you guys are both new to being owners and being basically franchise owners of CrossFit, what is you guys' what's the relationship like with CrossFit HQ as an owner? Like what kind of support do they give you? What is your opinion on what they do as far as like providing CrossFit affiliates support?
So historically, it's been the trademark.
Mm-hmm.
That's very valuable. I mean, like I said, when I was looking for where to go, what did I search?
CrossFit
near me. Yeah. That word is trademarked. Mm-hmm. You can't use that word unless you're actually an affiliate of CrossFit.
Yeah.
And they actually have a very robust team of legal expertise that
Looking
are
for
hunting down.
after you.
They are hunting down.
They come
people.
after those X-Fit people.
Exactly.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
X-Fits, the functional fitness places that just try to just get right around that word but not say it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that obviously has value. And they have historically not done much with marketing except the CrossFit Games. So you've probably seen CrossFit HQ has evolved a lot over the years of being essentially the garage gym methodology to the games, and that's the spectacle. And there's affiliates, and if you want to go to the games, that's cool, but otherwise you're at the affiliate doing CrossFit. And now they're shifting a lot towards health and focusing on the affiliates because they know that's the front door to CrossFit. It's not the games.
Mm-hmm.
That's the cool studio in the back where you get to go hang out and watch. But the front door, that's an affiliate. So they're putting a ton more investment in that. And the relationship has gotten really good. Lately, we have a representative. We have someone we can talk to. We just set up a call with our rep recently just to chat through some stuff.
Yeah.
Just ask him some questions. He was very receptive and very available. So that hasn't historically been there. I don't expect to get Don Fall on the phone, the CEO, but he does town halls all the time with Dave Castro and Nicole Carroll and all them, even some OGs.
Yeah, I think it's super, in my opinion, it's important to basically highlight both aspects of that, to be focused on the health and also focused on the games, because the games are what bring in I'm sure you guys' gym is full of previous athletes. You said you played football. A lot of people after they get done with athletics, they kind of look around and, maybe 30 years ago they'd have joined a softball, team or something
Right.
like that. But now it's like people are joining CrossFit gyms
And they want to compete.
Yeah, they want to join and compete in something. And I think the CrossFit Games is such a great, I think what got me into CrossFit is I worked an event that it was a CrossFit event, and I was like, at the time I was competing in powerlifting. I was like 260 pounds, but I was like super impressed by what was going on. I was like, damn, they're doing, push jerks with 225 for reps. And I'm like, I'd have a heart attack right now if I did that. Like, obviously I'm strong enough to do it, but like, I definitely would have a heart attack. And that's what kind of brought me into the fold. So it's like, CrossFit Games, I think you got to have some kind of highlight on that, but you also have to have the health highlight as well, because for a long time they weren't talking about that nearly as much.
Right.
It was what's his name? He would just, share, articles on why sugar's bad, and that was like the extent of it, which now I think they do a better job of basically highlighting the how beneficial it is for somebody to get in good, metabolic conditioning health, which previously they hadn't been doing as much of.
Yeah.
CrossFit's had a lot of evolution too, as well, over the last decade. It's wild. From where the games is being held to what equipment is being used on a more regular basis. Where do you guys see it going in the next few years?
I think it's matured quite a bit in the last decade. Like Dan said, it was very much like bros in the garage, and I think it was evident if you look at the games from 2008 and 9, weren't able to do things back then that are very commonplace in almost any affiliate today. So I think it's matured quite a bit. I think if you walk around, we're able to visit a lot of affiliates 10 years ago, you're going to see a lot of holes in the wall type gyms. But as things mature, it's just the quality of facilities and services and coaching, programming, all of it is going up. It's going to continue.
Cream rises, if you will.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that'll continue. We've invested quite a bit in improving the quality of the facility, the quality of our coaching, their training. We meet regularly with them, and the quality of the equipment and the programming. We've definitely focused on that. We see that trend. People want to do CrossFit. They'll continue to do CrossFit if they're drinking that Kool-Aid. We'll continue to attract new clients as CrossFit invests heavily in CrossFit health and the games and how much they're evangelizing the CrossFit methodologies. But we'll retain them with our community, with the quality of our programming, facilities, and coaching. And so we just have to continue to raise that bar.
Do you guys do all your programming in-house? Or do you guys use because a lot of, like, for listeners who might be listening to this,
Sure.
you have a couple different options when it comes to like programming. There's gyms that will do, like Rich Froning's gym, Mayhem, they put out their own programming, and you can pay for that programming. Or there are some gyms that do in-house programming. So neither one of them are bad options. I'm just interested in what you guys do.
Yeah, we differ by program. So our main CrossFit program is we're a Mayhem affiliate for our CrossFit programming. Mm-hmm. We also have stuff outside of that. So like CrossFit Kids, we come up with that ourselves. We have a fantastic kids coach, Coach Lauren Stretch. She's awesome and comes up with a lot of that stuff for the kids to make it CrossFit, but it's for the kids.
Yeah.
We have Olympic lifting stuff that we're going to come up with ourselves. We've got, another program? The team training stuff. So the stuff they do.
Yeah, the team stuff on Saturday. We do that ourselves. Our coach, Kyle Kuntz, is very talented programming. We also, we augment the stuff that Mayhem gives us. Mayhem has a lot of programming. It's really good. But the history of our gym is people want more. They want a little bit more volume. And so one of our coaches, Mike Breitenbach, awesome dude, great programmer. He's been taking over the modification of Mayhem where necessary, like if there's something that needs to be changed to fit our facility, our equipment, or whatever, he makes those changes. But additionally, he comes up with all of our post WODs or post workouts or finishers, we call them, mm-hmm. Which are usually in the 10 to 15 minute time domain of extra stuff. It might be core, it might be some gymnastics skill work or anything, but he does that, and we have those on the daily. So he does a great job of augmenting that program that way. Mm-hmm. Dan mentioned the Olathe stuff. Currently, we've got some Olympic lifting programming from Mike Bergner Strength, mm-hmm. And we'll continue to use that, but also augment that as we build out our barbell club. So
yeah, we have a summer teens program too that we do. We did it last year for the first time. We'll do it again this year. Mike Breitenbach, one of our coaches, is also really passionate about that, particularly that age group, and getting that young men and women that are in that adolescent years in the gym and active, especially when they're not in school. A lot of them are doing sports and activities, but there's a ton of downtime. Mm-hmm. It's funny when you're kids, you don't think you have any time. And then when you're an adult, you're like, I have tons of time.
Prior to having a kid, I was like, what was I doing with my time? Like, I had so much of it. And
I think about college. I'm like, whoa, I had it's 28 hours of free time every day. Yeah. It seems. What was I doing? Yeah. Now I have -3.
No time. Yeah. Since we're talking about kids, this past year in the CrossFit Games, we saw 2 or 3 young competitors drop out. What's your opinion on people getting super, super into CrossFit when they're young?
I think it's healthy for their bodies. I think the movement patterns, the universal movement patterns and functional movements that we do are amazing. Mm-hmm. I think people should just move. Yeah. And I think Mark mentioned, babies can squat perfectly. That's what I've heard from a physiological perspective. We can squat perfectly when we're born. And then we unlearn how to squat into adulthood by sitting in chairs for a
slouching
long time.
Like I am right now.
This is how you learn how to unsquat. Yeah. So we unlearn how to do that stuff. So I think the movement patterns are great. I think what you're probably getting at is the mental side of it. Mm-hmm. These folks like Mal O'Brien who have dropped out of the games multiple times in a row, citing anxiety or too much. I can't handle it. And I think that's different. Mm-hmm. From the movements themselves, or what is CrossFit. I think if you find who's the gymnast that dropped out, she was going to get gold medal.
Simone Biles.
Yeah. Same thing. It doesn't matter what sport it is. I think when you put people in a hyper competitive environment when their brains are still developing, which is until you're 28, it seems.
Yeah.
For men specifically.
For men specifically, 37. No, it's when you're still developing, your brain is going through so much, and you have no idea what to make of the world. And if there's that hyper competitive part of it, it can. I'm thankful I skirted that in somehow, being in sports, but yeah, it can be.
So there's no social media when you were growing up.
There was no social media. That's for sure.
I think social media probably does contribute to it, because it's like if you're Mal O'Brien and you're being told, oh, Tia is not competing this year, you should be the one to win, and then she's training and she's got all the stress involved in it.
And on top of that, in addition to all of the, hundreds of thousands, or I don't know how many followers she has, but of supporters. Can you imagine what that would feel like at that age to have as many naysayers?
Yeah.
Like, she's horrible. She can't do this or she can't do that. And that's what you're hearing over and over. Like when your brain's still developing, like, oh my gosh.
When you're so young.
I feel like somebody just needs to take their phone away from them
Yeah.
and be like, you don't get to look at this.
Yeah, the coach needs to be like, you don't get that.
But all of our sponsors need that content. So
yeah,
it's a tough push and pull right there.
When people want to make a career out of CrossFit, it's not just CrossFit. Your income's diversified with the fitness side of it. You can win the games. That's a lot of money. It's not so much if you get 15th place, but there's also the sponsorships and the social media following. And if you want to start a YouTube channel, you can probably get like, there's so many ways they make money, and most of them are powered by the like button, which is rough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that
really
is
rough.
rough. But I think that you hit the nail on the head. I think it probably has more to do with competing in anything high level as much as it does with, anything to do with CrossFit,
Yeah, we're tribal creatures, right? We're supposed to have each other.
Yeah.
And if this is funny, we have so many friends online, right? I have thousands of Facebook friends.
that I haven't seen in a decade.
Yeah. Dunbar's number is 150. That's how many people you can have in your life that actually matter to you and support you. Everything else it's not real. It's you think it's your community, but it's not. And it's a lot of naysayers, and that can be really rough, especially when you're in your formative years of learning. You start to live other people's lives through the screen as opposed to your own life, and that can really skew your view of what you're supposed to be doing. When you become 17, 18, 19, 20 years old.
Oh, yeah. That you can attach that to, a lot of things, right? The amount of people that were just taking their own personal goals and setting them on fire during the Chiefs playoff run because they're attaching their life to what the Chiefs are doing.
Right.
They won the Super Bowl, and they're like, we won the Super Bowl. And you're like, but did you?
Yes, we did.
How are you recovering from that?
I'm right here.
I don't know if I saw you in the team photo last year,
Listen,
but
dude.
you just gotta hey man, everybody, hey, you're talking to a huge Chiefs fan. I went to the Baltimore game in Baltimore just to watch it, but I also worked out when I got there.
That's right. Get rid of the jet lag.
Well, yeah, you're just, dude, it's very easy to attach yourself to these things, whether it be, CrossFit or whatever it may be. Politics, everybody just forgets their own goals and attaches their identity to something else. That's outside.
No one does that with politics.
Yeah.
That's not true.
I'm saying with these kids, I can only imagine how difficult it is because it's very easy to form your identity around that.
Yeah, it's so prevalent, not even just in the CrossFit world. I have 6 kids. They're all different. I love them all dearly. I give my life for every single one of them. And they have challenges that I couldn't have even dreamed up when I was, growing up. I was born in 1977, so there was no such thing as the internet was a baby when I was graduating high school. Like, it was like, cool, there's AOL. Like, what do you do? Like, well, you dial in, you listen to this weird sound, and then you're online. What do you do now? I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
you can check your email.
Let's go play baseball. So there is. It seems like anxiety is just prevalent with a lot of kids and teenagers, and I think any amount of involvement in athletics or fitness is going to help that. CrossFit's going to help that. We have tons of teens that have been through On Track over the years. Awesome human beings. So much good comes from just engaging in physical fitness and in community, and that helping mental health. So I say, hats off to Mal O'Brien for feeling like this is no longer healthy for me. I don't know if that's the reason. I don't know that she even said specifically what the reason was, but if that's the reason, good for her.
Certainly wasn't serving her mental health.
Yeah, take some time and figure that out.
Guys, changing the subject. 24.1. Dave Castro posts a mushroom as the.
Did he give us hint?
As the hint.
I didn't see it yet.
So, what are the chances that 24.1 is DT, but you have to take a heroic dose of mushrooms?
I'd say.
I don't think
say
that'll
very
be it.
high. Like, continuing on the mushroom theme.
This
probably.
is it. 24.1 for our listeners is the first workout in the 2024 CrossFit.
Man, that looks like the one on Mario that makes him bigger.
That is Toad. That is, yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna make it. You grow a size if you eat that.
It'll be fun, guys. Oh, okay.
I see what.
I don't know if has anyone ever been able to. hindsight been able to be like, yeah, that's definitely what
I
it
don't
meant.
know.
It's a total joke.
Yeah.
It's Dave Castro is a Navy SEAL who's been playing mind games with people his whole life. This isn't just another one of those. He Googled like picture and found like the 14th one and was like,
there it
24th
is.
one, maybe.
There it
I don't know.
is.
That's his thing.
What's your connection to DT here, Kyle?
You like DT?
Why DT?
It was just a random workout that I thought of off the top of my head.
Oh, okay.
That is my least favorite hero WOD.
I would say it's my favorite.
That.
I'm the opposite of you guys. You guys said that you came into CrossFit as runners. I came into CrossFit as
yeah.
a
So
lifter.
you
So,
want
like
the
the cardio was
You want the barbell?
the bad stuff.
Yeah,
for
you want
me.
the barbell. I'll Murph all day long.
Yeah.
Any body weight movements?
I witnessed him whenever he was at least 240 at this time doing his first ever Fran workout.
Oh yeah.
All strict.
Oh dear. I think that's
all strict,
pretty,
and then also like
He did it
no
in 4.5
overhead mobility
he did
at
it
the
in
time.
4.5
So like
minutes.
I'm sure my lockouts
Oh,
were
yeah.
like out in front of
Hey,
me.
impressive though. He did it in 4.5 minutes all strict.
No.
good.
It was 9 minutes.
Was it really?
Oh yeah, yeah,
There you
and yeah, it was bad. Jeremy Meyer was like,
Even 9 minutes per impressive.
Jeremy Meyer was like, dude, I don't know if I've ever seen anybody do Murph completely strict like that. That was gross. Congratulations.
You guys familiar with Jeremy? He
Jeremy
owns
who?
Jeremy Meyer. He owns now it's
HOA?
He also
Springfield.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
he
absolutely.
started that event.
Yep.
But he owns Proximal Strength, formerly known as CrossFit Springfield down there.
Yeah, that's
But
a
yeah.
great gym, huge gym. Down there. I was down there for training several years ago, but very impressive facility.
He's a good dude.
yeah.
Really
Yeah.
good dude.
He's been on the pod as well, but we got our starts in Springfield, Missouri, and we didn't know it at the time, but man, it was like a hotbed for CrossFit
Yeah.
nationwide. Like we had 7 CrossFit boxes in 2010,
Wow.
Wow.
And I think Springfield was
the first one.
the largest at one point. I don't
Yeah.
know if it still is, but they had I don't know.
They had to
800
move 4
members or
times in
something.
like 2 years because of the growth.
Yeah.
And several of the coaches and several of the members that were driving in 30, 40 minutes to go, like, well, now we just need a CrossFit, Republic and a CrossFit Nixa.
Let's
and a
do our own. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that shows. I'm trying to think about this. Like, it's funny when you see these pockets of CrossFit. Like, it's such a community-based fitness regimen that there's a reason why it's not like spreading like wildfire. Like, CrossFit hasn't gone viral. Like, we joke. We went to the games last year, and you get to see all your heroes, right? Rich Froning was there, and Matt Fraser's there, and that's cool. We get to see him. I'm touching him right there.
He's
It's
like,
cool.
stop touching me.
But it's funny. Yeah.
Get off me, dude.
I'm gonna.
Yeah.
So, but the funny thing is, like, they're famous to us. They're famous to no one else.
Yeah.
It's like the amount of
Yeah.
open registrations. Like, this is such a small thing
Yeah.
that's so important to us, but it's so useful to the world.
These
And-
are
but
super famous folks that shop at Walmart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No issue.
if
You
they
know,
went
no one
to
else knows who they are.
Yeah, if they went to Applebee's and they're like, "Can I get a table?" They'd be like, "No." Like they're no one. So,
Yeah.
but to us, they're so important because it's so important to us. But I always like seeing these pockets of CrossFit because it just proves that it's community based. Like it's
Yeah.
word of mouth. I went to this gym the other day and I feel awesome after the workout. You should come try it out. Like it's really hard, and CrossFit HQ is going to give it a shot to make marketing that works for CrossFit because you can just show people what it will do for you. But for some reason, all it takes is for someone to actually step in to buy into it.
Yeah.
Like, no one's gonna like pay a fee and then be like, but I'll go next month. I'll try it next month. I'll
Well-
pay now. No, you have to see it, feel it, and you're like, I'm in.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I have a lot of thoughts on this that come to my
Yeah.
head for that. Well, we own supplement stores, and a lot of people are fearful of coming into our store for same reasons. It's like,
Yeah.
we have this unbelievable track record of getting people results. We have unbelievable reviews at all of our locations. Why is it intimidating for someone to come into our store? When our staff, if you read any reviews, it's always about our staff being extremely kind, extremely friendly.
Yep.
When you don't sugarcoat anything, and there is not my personal opinion on this is if you don't have any kind of hook that tries to soften the blow of it takes what it takes to get results, people want to buy hope. They want to buy something like, hey, I know how to diet and exercise. I don't want to go in there. I don't want to go to that gym. Like, what's the potion? What's the bottle? What's the pill, et cetera?
Yeah.
And there's always going to be someone peddling that. And so,
Right.
so
I
if
need
you're
5 guys who want to transform their bodies in the next 15 days. Right. It's like,
well, exactly. It's much easier to enter into our store or into your gym if you already have some kind of basis of foundation of knowledge or experience. So, former athlete, you had already done Olympic lifting yourself, right? And so Dan, that made you feel, I'm not intimidated to go in here. I've seen these lifts before. Now I'm going to do a lot of them versus, you know what I mean? Versus one at a time, you know, and it's just, it's so hard because we want to market it differently because, you know, you have a really great track record. It's like, hey, if you want to guarantee yourself get in shape, come here for 90 days. You know, you'll look completely different, no doubt, right? With a little bit of moderation on your diet and this, we know you'll get results. But we all want to believe that there's something easier. There's less work, cheaper, you know, whatever it may be.
You kind of got to have somebody who's hit rock bottom, who's tried the potions, who's tried the, you know, I need 5 guys, you know, that are trying to get in great shape in 9 days. You have to have that person that's like, all right, I've tried all that. That doesn't work. You know, what do you guys got? Or you have to have a firsthand recommendation, which firsthand recommendations are like the most valuable thing in our business, which I'm guessing is the exact same thing with you guys.
It really is. You know, so much of our business comes from friend of a friend. Or I used to do CrossFit in this area, great community. Someone invited me, I want to do it at your gym. Or we have several members that have joined within the last few months that were friends of an existing member, you know. And for what it's worth, you know, our partnership with S2 has been phenomenal. So we have a new member welcome kit. Everyone that signs up, they get like an on-track shirt, and we've got some on-track stickers. We have some S2 stickers, and we have a little S2 flyer that we put in there. And we tell folks, okay, what you want to do is head into S2, tell them you're from On Track, and they'll know who we are. They'll greet you. It won't be uncomfortable or awkward. You just go in there. They'll do an in-body scan. If you want to talk about nutrition or supplementation, they can talk to you about that. They're all certified and qualified for that. And a lot of members do that. And that's been, you know, reciprocal for us.
A genuine partnership.
Yeah. I mean, and
well, that's for us, you know, coming from our side of things, it's like, you know, like Jeff said, we are a supplement store, and we get a lot of people that will come into our store and they'll be like, I'm trying to get in shape. And you're like, okay, great. You know, what are you doing with your diet, and what are you doing as far as working out? I don't work out. And you're like, what are you doing in here?
None of this works if you don't move.
You need to go to the gym. So having like good partners for us that care about their community, care about the people that are coming into their gym, can introduce them to a community that can make it stick. That's so important for us.
I would say it's the most important.
Yeah.
As far as somebody's results is going, and we do our own, you know, challenges through our stores called Operation Transformation that I'm sure you guys have heard of as Subcapacity.
We've got some members of them.
And we ask you know, these thousands of people through, you know, company wide, and we ask them a survey, you know, just what are you looking for out of this specifically? And it's not results, because results is going to be a byproduct of doing it, right? They're all 80% of the people will say accountability.
Yeah.
And that accountability exactly right. is what it's the number one thing everybody's looking for and needs, but no one wants up front. So it's like your first day, they're like, are you coming back tomorrow? They're like, don't ask me that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just let me go home and be sore.
Yeah. Just like, they have to believe in themselves first before they can start really looking around, it seems like. And, you know, back to the point of like, you know, how do you market, hey, diet and exercise and you will get great results. Because everybody thinks they already know how, you know? And so it's so fun. Anybody that experiences, what you guys have to offer, you're batting 1,000 or closest to it. You know, I mean,
you have to experience it. In terms of how do you market it, like, I think the most valuable thing for us is talking face to face with people, and so we do rely on a lot of CrossFit's marketing and putting stuff out there. Sometimes we'll run some targeted Facebook or Instagram ads, but generally, as soon as we get any kind of lead or a friend refers someone, we ask them, "Can you come in here and chat with us? Like, we just want to talk to you 15 minutes. We want to get to know you. What are your goals? What have you been doing? What are your goals? Nutrition goals, fitness goals, and we'll show you around the gym." And we have that one-on-one conversation. I'm sure it's very similar in S2's industry. Like, if you can get that FaceTime with them, that's huge.
If you care. I mean, like the people, because of the amount of passion and the amount of care that you guys put into these conversations and how much you genuinely are looking to see them get the result they came looking for.
Exactly.
You're not looking to, you know, rip them off. You're not looking to keep their membership dues every month and not offer any value.
Right.
You're not afraid of that conversation. You're insisting on it because you have a, you know, pure intention there. But I look at the business of CrossFit as well. And I look at, you know, our business as well. And people ask us all the time, like, why don't we ever do sales? Or, I'm like, well, you're building a different kind of customer there. They're not going to be loyal to you. They're going to be loyal to the price. They're going to be loyal to the deal and whoever's putting on the deal. And so a lot of these CrossFit boxes, and Dan, we talked about this earlier with the pockets of these different CrossFit boxes that we're opening up all over. I think a lot of them, to your point, Mark, were doing the Groupon or the Living Social. If you remember that other business, I'm sure is not in business anymore. But the amount of gyms that found themselves throwing out their value and degrading it and calling, hey, now you can do a 6-week class for $29. The amount of members that were like, wait, what? I'm paying what? And they're paying what?
Yeah.
And so it's just, I don't know where it's going to go as far as like, is there a cap on what we can do? How do we possibly get somebody into the door and experience it and turn off that intimidation factor? And I know you mentioned, Dan, the trying to work on the front door versus the back room, if you will. Mm-hmm. What are they doing to do that, you think? I know they've gotten rid of barbells classes in a lot of gyms, which isn't a positive, but it's a positive only for the intimidation factor, it seems.
I think they're going to be highlighting, frankly, what we'll tell you when you walk in, which is that you can scale anything infinitely. I think they're highlighting stories. CrossFit HQ is dedicating a lot of money and marketing to highlighting people and stories, testaments of saying, like, I was intimidated and I'm 84 and I went into the gym and I love it. And I'm not working out the same as this guy. I'm not working out the same as that gal, but I'm working out. I mean, I'm moving. And I think they're going to try to push that a lot more. That's what we try to push. I mean, that's fitness. Just move.
I love it. I mean, dude, this is just from the hip, but I would just love to see a commercial. It's like, this is CrossFit. And it's like your classic tons of 1-second cuts of somebody who's just ripped, throwing up a ton of weight, dropping weight, everything you think of stereotypically when you think of it. And be like, this is also CrossFit. And it's like Pat, doing, push-ups on her knees and a banded pull-up. And this is CrossFit. This is CrossFit. You know what I mean? Like, it's all.
Oh, yeah.
We've been chatting recently about showcasing some of those athletes in our gym who, like 99.9% of the population, are not going to the games, but are still getting huge value, physical fitness value and mental health value, social value out of being in a CrossFit community. How do we get those stories out? We've got Pat, we've got several members that have just been hugely benefited from doing CrossFit. And so we're toying with the idea of, what if we made like a commercial? And the question is, what's your why? And that's been asked, that's been done elsewhere, but everyone there has a reason why they show up and why they keep coming. And it probably starts with results. But you stick around for the community, the social and mental health aspects of it,
There's probably a very high percentage of people that do CrossFit. I can speak to my gym, CrossFit on Track. I guarantee a lot of members would say this. When you start, you have a why of like what you want to achieve when you do it. But if you were asked, like, why do you keep coming? If it was years down the road, I would bet that a lot of people would say, because I have to. Mm-hmm. I can't even imagine not doing this.
Yeah.
Like, it is so a part of my life. It's so a part of my body and who I am and how I move. Can't even imagine not coming. Like, I get sad if I get like a pain in my back and I'm like, oh shoot, I'm gonna miss a week now. Ugh, I'm not gonna see my buds. I'm gonna have to go in and just like do mobility on the side because I can't not go. Like, I think there's a lot of that, which is really cool.
I think that's awesome, and that's a beautiful thing about the culture there.
It is. Oh, yeah. The once you start training at high intensities and you see like what it does as far as like for mental health, like you said. Now, if I have a busy day and my wife's like, you can't work out, we have this and this and this, you got to watch the kids, yada, 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 and I can't work out in a day, I'm like, the whole day, I'm like, anxiety,
Yeah.
Even if it's, but then again, I try and, go on a walk or do something with my kids to where, it kind of releases a little bit of that. But I'm guaranteed, after you've been doing any kind of training like that for a long period of time, it's like you got to have it, like you said. It's like I have to go. I have to sweat in some capacity today.
You're addicted to those endorphins.
Yeah,
got to get it.
Got to get it, dude.
Happy drugs.
It's officially 24, right? We're coming into the CrossFit Games. Who do you guys got winning it?
Oh man,
individuals only.
Man, I've been rooting for Pat for years. Love
if
that
Pat
dude.
could win it, that'd be awesome. He needs
Pat
one.
Vellner.
Pat
He
Vellner.
does deserve it, man. He's like top 5. he starts out at the very bottom every year, and then he climbs his way. He
has
screws
one
the
event.
first
Yeah, he has
event
one
up.
event that just tanks him, and then he's somehow very close to or on the podium magically. I would love to see that dude win. He's just such a great human. But I think Roman's making a strong comeback. He was still on the podium after basically sitting out.
He forfeited
multiple events.
He got last place in the last 2 events, I think, because he broke his ankle at the games.
Unbelievable.
And got 3rd place.
Unbelievable.
He was so far in the lead. If he's healthy, he'll do it. I think Ricky Garrard, I think he's obviously going to push for it, but he's got tons of controversy around him.
Oh, yeah.
He got banned for a while. But
the SARMs guy, I believe, is what he got banned for, correct?
I don't know what the substance he was
it
on?
was
I don't
years
know.
ago.
It was some kind of SARM. But yeah, he got banned, and he's still a freak, you know. But obviously, you know, that's one thing that I always tell people too. I'm like, you know, the guys that are in like the top 10 of CrossFit competitors those are not humans, really. I'm like, you don't have any idea like how much they're just
the degree
better.
of separation
the degree
from
of
them and everyone else is huge.
It's like, and I'll get you guys' opinion on this, but you know, I always I'll qualify for the quarterfinals and do the quarterfinals. Yeah. And my buddies, I'm from Wichita, my buddies back home be like, oh dude, like what are your chances? I'm like, you have no idea how far, like there is zero chance, less than. I'm like, the guys that you see on TV are just so ridiculously good.
I had some of that. Mm-hmm. So I did quarterfinals last year. I had a little bit of that chatter, like, oh, you're doing really good. And I don't know what percentile, 94, 95. But the difference from there to the 99th, I mean, it's
crazy.
It's stupid.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Like, okay, those guys finished, the top 1% finished in this much time. Okay, double that.
Yeah.
Double that, and that's what I can hope.
It's so nuts. What are you guys' opinion on them opening it up to the top 25%?
I think it's a business move. I think they're trying to get more money. I can respect that as a business owner. You know, widen the net.
Mm-hmm. Are you worried that anyone's going to die trying to do 275 clean and jerks and 30-inch box jumps?
Last year was, that was a little, that was silly.
Yeah. I'm joking. Nobody's going to die, but I'm just saying that's going to be really heavy for some people if they have.
Those weights keep going up.
Yeah.
I mean, they just do. You look at the weights they used, 10, 12 years ago, and that's standard in any box now. But
I was going to say that earlier about the metrics going up. Like a standard dumbbell for guys' workouts in competitions, it used to be 50. Now it's 70.
Yeah.
For ladies, now you're holding a 50-pounder. Box jumps, go for 30. Why not? It used to be 24. Let's do 30. All the weights are going up. Let's do Fran. They're at 135, not 95 anymore. We're stronger now.
Yeah.
But we've got that where the pinnacle of fitness is going so far up. We're making a science out of it, which is what you do with any competitive thing. That's how it works. And then we've also got what we've been talking about this whole time, which is like the rest of the human population. We're like, come on, you can come in too.
Yeah.
You don't have to do that. That's crazy. You don't have to do that. But that's like this dichotomy that's existing in CrossFit, which I think HQ is going to do a good job because they're still going to publicize the games. We're still going to make it a big deal. We're going to go to the games. It's going to be awesome. We love it. Also, I can't do any of that.
Yeah.
Hey, what female is going to win? We didn't talk about that yet.
Oh, man.
Tia is going to make a return.
Tia's coming back.
She has been announced for 24.3 going head to head. Is that right? Or 2? She's one of the.
She's
open
doing
ones.
the second one.
Is it the second one?
It's like the Battle of the Moms. Yeah, that's the email I got from HQ.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
that chick that got third then, right? Last year, she's a mom. She's like
Ariel Lowen.
She's got a full-time job. Like that was pretty impressive.
I want someone to win like that. That's what I want Vellner to win. He's a dad. He's a trained chiropractor, and he does CrossFit.
Athlete.
Like Matt Fraser winning, it's like you sacrificed everything in your life and you nailed it, and good for you. Like that's serious focus. Also, if you've seen pictures of him lately, he's dropped like all the weight. It just like fell off. Like that's what CrossFit does.
Yeah,
made him a freak of nature, and then he stopped for like a week, and
he's just like, I'm done. Yeah,
deflated human. I love it. He's happy as ever. But yeah, Laura Horvath is, if she's fit, she won last year. She'll push for it.
Super impressive. Yeah,
I think her and Tia is going to be a pretty bad. It would be really impressive for Tia to have a baby last year and then win the games this year. That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
It would be
quite the recovery.
Yeah,
I think. I wouldn't put it past her, man. I would put my money on her just because of I think she really, really cares when it comes to her legacy, and gives her something to shoot for.
Well, at the margins that they're working with at that level of competition, it is all in your head. It's all in those people are relatively, given this like top 1% and 99%, they're equal in fitness. So it's very fine margins. The difference is what's in your head.
Yeah.
And I think Tia even said that when she got second place, I think at 2015 games, she was like, I wasn't right in my head. I was telling myself that day I wasn't going to win. She was like, duh, that's why I didn't win.
Yeah.
Not because I wasn't fit. She got second place. And then every year after that, you could see it in her eyes. Same thing you see in Matt Fraser's eyes, where he's like, don't talk to me. Games aren't over yet. You're 400 points in the lead. He's like, it's not over yet.
Yeah.
Like, all right, you got that screw loose. I think you need a screw loose to do it.
Yeah, I was about to say, some of the best CrossFitters I've ever trained with, it's almost like they don't have anything in their head ever. They're just going, and they're just like, this doesn't hurt.
They can
turn their brain off where they're just not thinking about it.
Exactly.
That is the difference.
Yeah.
And I like to watch that as a coach, as an affiliate owner, as like, I can kind of take a step back in class, and I can love watching people work out. I love to see that difference between like someone finishes a workout in 4 minutes versus 8. They are equally fit, which is the funny thing. Like, I bet if you like took some sort of like bioscan, lactate threshold and all this stuff, you'd be like, they're the same. Like they're equal. But one person just turned on the jets, and the other person was like,
feeling
today's
sorry
gonna be
for
a hard
them.
day at work.
Yeah.
I might just like
get into that
take a little bit off.
pain cave, and what do? Do you give up and you're like, I don't have it today? Or are you one of those ones who's like, I'm comfortable being uncomfortable. I've been here. Mm-hmm. I want to win. You know?
I had one of those in a workout the other day. It was run a mile and then bike 150 calories for time. And about halfway through that 150 calories, I was like, you don't want to be doing this. This sucks, dude. What are you doing? Like
Inner
this,
voice
and I
is
was like,
a liar.
go harder.
I love
get
coaching.
it together.
I love coaching workouts like that because I describe it to my classes as your lizard brain.
Yeah.
That's your like the whatever that is deep in your core. That's like survival instincts. Like, hey man, slow that heart rate down. What are you freaking out about? And you're like, I have to get fitter.
I have to go.
Your forebrain is like, keep going. This is a good workout. And your lizard brain, I tell this to the class, is gonna tell you to stop. It's gonna tell you its only job is to be like, hey man, cool down.
Yeah.
But you don't want to.
No.
It's like you have to tell that brain to be quiet.
I was just like, dude, your legs, man. Your legs are like full of cement now, man. It's just terrible. I had the
gonna
lizard
recover.
brain just dominating me that day.
We have one question we usually wrap up every podcast with. We'd love to ask you guys, and that is, being from Kansas City, we love our barbecue here. You done?
I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry.
All right.
Cut that out, Luke.
Being from Kansas City, obviously we love barbecue here. Do you guys have or I shouldn't say do you, what is the top spot for you guys? If you have friends coming in town, where's you get one place to go, where are you going?
Joe's.
Spoken,
we did not
spoken
plan
like
that.
true Olathe.
We did not plan that.
Did I say
you
that
go to
right?
Olathe, Joe's?
I'll say it like I'm from Kansas City.
It's
Oklahoma
convenient.
Joe's.
Yeah, it's
it
close.
is convenient.
I go to
Oklahoma Joe's.
Are you
or-
doing the
Is there a
Z-Man?
sleeper?
Is the
Is there
question.
a
Kansas City.
sleeper Olathe spot that we don't know about? That's not Joe's. You know,
There's a spot called Crazy Good Eats that's near where Mark and I live. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should
That's
be
what I
called
consider.
Pretty
not
Good
even.
Eats.
It should be pretty good.
Pretty
eats.
good
Yeah,
eats.
it's like it's not crazy good. All right.
Fairly Good Eats.
Yeah.
Gets the job
Q39 is
done.
probably a close second for me.
Yeah, Q39.
Yeah.
Man, that's good.
They keep changing up the menu and taking away stuff that I love. So I'm like, I'm now on the fence. Q39 used to be my go-to, and now I'm like,
You go to
There's a-
Q39, you get that burnt end burger.
yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Or the
That's next
The
level.
Mr. Burns sandwich.
There's one that we just went to. We took all the coaches. There was that Meat Mitch.
Meat
Oh,
Mitch.
Meat Mitch. Yeah, they're in
That
the
was-
airport too.
Phenomenal. That was so good.
I had like a burger there and it blew my mind. I don't know if you
Really?
guys, I like food. I don't know if
Yeah.
you can tell by the way I'm looking at you, but that burger was top notch. I would go back. It was far from my house. So
We get lucky, man. Everybody, when it comes to barbecue, the amount of people that I know that just aren't barbecue fans, like they're just not like a huge fan of.
Nobody's perfect.
Yeah, I'm with you, right? Everybody's, they're not vegetarians, they're not vegans, they're just like, on barbecue.
Meh.
And I'm like, do you like wings? Do you like burgers? Like, these are all things that are included. Like, if they know their way around the grill, they can make
Yeah.
it all amazing.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't surprise me at all that a burger would be so amazing from Meat Mitch. But
Oh, yeah.
for other people, they just don't understand. Like, there's a lot more to it than just brisket. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. 100%. Yeah.
Definitely. I do CrossFit so I can eat whatever I want. I've tried the dieting thing and watching everything that enters my mouth, and it's really hard. So move as hard as you can.
Move a lot.
and then watch your portions. That's it.
Kyle's
secret.
Kyle's been
That's what
trying
I
to
was
sell me
telling
on
him.
this for a decade.
I'm like,
It
bro, if
seems
you
like-
want more leniency with your diet, just train your balls off, and you don't have to worry about it.
It
as
works.
much.
And I just keep kicking the can down the road, being like, "There's gonna be something else.
Yeah.
There's
Say,
gonna be."
can you out-train a bad diet? I don't know, but I can out-train mine. That's all I need to do.
That's all that
Just
matters.
out-train mine.
I love it. Hey, appreciate your guys' time today.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure sitting
Thanks
down.
for the invite.
It was
Yeah,
really
of
great
course.
getting to know you guys.
Yeah,
well.
give everybody where they can find On Track online.
Yeah, for sure. So CrossFitOnTrack.com is our website. We're down in Olathe, not far from Garmin headquarters, so real close to I-35 and 151st Street. Yeah, would love to have anyone in there.
Yeah. Our social
the whole
media
family.
at CrossFit on Track, very active on Instagram, Facebook. Check us out. We like to highlight our members because obviously that's where the magic happens, is them coming in and showing them what they got. So we post tons of stuff highlighting them.
Awesome, man.
Very cool. Thank you guys again for coming. Check out On Track CrossFit if you are interested in it. Thank you guys again.
Yep, thanks.
Yeah, thank you.